A long time ago in Egypt, there was a mean king named Pharaoh. Pharaoh thought that there were too many Jewish people, and so he made them his slaves. They had to work day and night building cities for Pharaoh. It was a very sad time for the Jewish people. One mommy wanted to save her baby. She wove a basket and put her baby inside the basket. She put the basket into the Nile River and told her daughter Miriam to watch over the baby so he would be safe. The basket floated down the Nile River with Miriam watching and came to a place where the princess was swimming. She heard the baby crying and took him from the river. She named him Moses. Miriam helped the princess find someone to care for the baby. Moses grew up in the palace. Moses could have lived at the palace forever, but he could not bear to watch the suffering of the Jewish slaves. He left Egypt and became a shepherd in a faraway land. One day, Moses was out in the fields watching his goats and sheep when he saw a miraculous sight. There was a bush that was burning, but it didn't get burned up. The leaves were still green. From the bush, Moses heard the voice of God. "Moses, take off your shoes. This is holy ground. You must go back to Egypt and set my people free." So Moses went back to Egypt. Moses went to talk to Pharaoh. He told Pharaoh that if he didn't listen to God, terrible plagues would come. But Pharaoh didn't listen. First, all the water turned to blood. Then there were frogs everywhere. Each punishment frightened Pharaoh, and each time he promised to free the slaves. But Pharaoh did not keep his word. God brought even more terrible punishments upon the Egyptians. There were lice, wild beasts, all the cows got sick. There were boils on the Egyptian skin, locusts, fiery hail, and darkness. Finally, Pharaoh agreed to let the Jewish people go. The Jewish people had to leave very quickly because they knew Pharaoh changed his mind a lot. They did not have time to bake bread for their journey. Instead, they put raw dough on their backs. The hot sun baked the dough into flat crackers called matzah. The Jewish people walked and walked until they came to a big body of water called the Red Sea. Suddenly, Pharaoh's army could be heard chasing after the Jewish people. "How will we get across the water?" they asked. God opened the water, allowing the Jewish people to walk across on the dry land. When they reached the other side, God closed the water so Pharaoh and his army couldn't follow, and the Jewish people were free. So every year, we celebrate this special holiday by gathering around the table with family and friends and having a Seder with lots of yummy foods.